everyone, I am here with your astrology for the month of March. So March is definitely, things are looking up. I don't know about you guys, but with all the crazy stuff that happened in 2020 and the crazy astrology, and even like January and into February was a little more challenging. It's definitely feels weird to see like a more normal type of astrological month, but things are starting to really like look up and ease up. Of course, nothing is ever perfect, but we are definitely seeing less stressful and harsh aspects overall going on. We do still have two more of the exact Saturn square Uranus aspects going on, but that is later into the year. There's one in June and one in November. So March actually looks like a really nice month. So a great time to take advantage of some of the energies. So I'm going to go through what the headlines are for the month of March. Of course, we always have a new moon and a full moon. We don't have any giant planets changing signs. It's all of the, the personal planets that are changing signs. We don't have any giant aspects going on between the very slow moving planets. So it's like actually like a pretty normal month, which, after all we've been through is really nice to see, quite frankly. Also, excuse my hair. I am going to get it done next week, and yeah, it's faded. I've got roots going on all over the place. Yes, we're gonna get it fixed up. But anyway, I think we're all in various states of quarantine hair, so that's my excuse. Anyway. So let's start the month with Monday, March 3rd. We have Mars moving into the sign of Gemini. So Mars on average spends about 2 months in a sign and has spent about the first 2 months of the year in the sign of Taurus. Mars is all about action. It's all about our desire, our will, but also it has to do with aggression as well. And it's going into a sign it's a little bit happier in, which is Gemini. Taurus is a slower moving sign, and Mars can get kind of frustrated in that sign because he wants to move forward. He wants to do, take action and make changes, but Taurus is very slow moving. Now, it is good when Mars is in Taurus for enacting long-term change, especially if you pace yourself. But if you're trying to like rush and get things done, it's not the greatest sign. So now it's moving into Gemini, which is an air sign, which is a lot of a quicker sign. So Mars is very happy there. I'll get out my Oracle of the Radiant Sun. And here we have Mars in Taurus. The keyword on this one was defense, which I certainly agree with. It is more of a defensive type of energy. And then for this one, it is decision. And I would agree that Mars in Gemini favors more decisions, especially quick decisions. Mars in Gemini, though, Gemini has to do with communication and short trips and short travel. Of course, travel restrictions, be safe, of course, follow the guidelines, wherever you live. But there may be just more running around, errands, driving. There's a lot more energy going on. Also, a lot more communication, a lot more quick kind of messages and things. The thing with Mars and Gemini, though, it also has to do with like blurting out things that maybe we shouldn't. Mars can also be, because it's about aggression and cutting, and Gemini's communication. That's also things like cutting words and cutting gossip and cutting kind of comebacks and things. So try to avoid, sort of that critical cutting words, but also just, realize for the next couple of months that energy's in the air. So you may come across more people who are, maybe verbally aggressive than, in the past. And you may, see more things of, sort of like aggressive communication going on, especially on things like the internet and stuff. So Mars and Gemini, though, in general means the energy is going to pick up. We're going to be moving a lot quicker. We're going to be moving forward a lot faster. We may feel like the momentum is picking up quite a bit. He's working really well with the Aquarius planets of Pluto and Saturn, working really well with them. But there is going to be some conflict with some of the planets in Pisces this month, because Pisces is more of a romantic, emotional, artistic, creative kind of sign. It's more about fantasy and big ideas. And Mars is kind of impatient with that. It's like, well, what are you going to do about it practically? And also, it's kind of like, that person has big dreams, and then that friend comes along that's like, well, puts a damper on it by, being overly logical and practical about things. So there is kind of that energy going on as well. Saturday, March 13th, we have our new moon for the month in the sign of Pisces. This is a lovely new moon. New moons are a great time to set some intentions for the next lunar cycle. It's conjunct with Neptune. So again, it's all about big dreams and big ideas. And we also have Venus joining up with Neptune again. So this is all about beauty and art and the subconscious and big dreams and lofty goals. So it's a chance to dream big and to ask for set intentions towards something big in our lives. Monday, March 15th, or actually no, Monday, March 8th, I should say. I skipped over this one, but Monday, March 8th, we have Athena, which is the asteroid about strategy, going into the sign of Pisces. So she was a lot more comfortable in Aquarius because she was strategizing about her future and her long-term plans with Saturn and Jupiter. Now she's moving into Pisces, which again, it's not a sign that's really good on specifics. It's more about the big dream. But she's helping to bring some strategic energy into that area. So even though in the new moon we can, like set some intentions for big dreams and goals, Athena's there to help to say like, okay, how are we going to strategize this? How are we going to make this become real? So there is a little bit of practical energy being inserted into the Pisces area, of the sky. So Monday, March 15th, we also have Mercury joining the Pisces party, lots of Pisces energy. Mercury will have moved completely out of his shadow at this point. So, Mercury in Pisces isn't very specific in his communication because, again, Pisces communicates in the language of poetry and song and dance. It's the language of the subconscious and of our dreams. And so it's going to be easier for us to express our emotions through artistic means than it is through, practical kind of communication. So communication may be a lot less straightforward, but it'll definitely be more artistic, more romantic, and more dreamy. So I'm going to find the Mercury cards here, just so we have our keywords. So Mercury in the sign of Aquarius, I think it's originality, right? Because it's all about, scientific ideas and inspiration. And interestingly, inspiration is the key word for Mercury in Pisces. This I see more as artistic inspiration rather than like genius, like, aha, I have solved the puzzle. This is more, it's more about communication through artistic means. And as you can see here, we've got the moon, we've got a dancer. So it's very much about that communication about the subconscious through things like art. Next, we have on March 20th, the sun moves into the sign of Aries, as it always does around this time of year. So our focus, the sun's like where we put our focus and where we're consciously putting our energy. The sun is, it's moved from Pisces, where it's focused on the big dream, to Aries, where it's more about individualism. It's about starting new things. This is in the northern hemisphere, the start of spring, the spring equinox. So it's saying, hey, it's spring. I want to put my energy out there. How am I gonna be in the world as an individual? What kind of mark do I want to make? What do I want to do? Who do I want to be? So it's very much about the self and realizations of the self and how you want to act in the world. So sun in Pisces, you can find it here. Sorry, going through the cards. Sun in Pisces. Keyword is vision. Yeah, and it's all about the big vision when sun is in Pisces. We're focused on the big dream, the big goal, our visions for the future. And then we go into assertion, assertive energy. Okay, we have our big dream. Now how are we going to act in the world? What are we going to actually do about it? Sunday, March 21st, the day after, Venus moves into Aries. So she goes from, she's very happy in Pisces, very romantic. It's all about being romanced and sung songs and poetry and flowers and all that. Venus in Pisces is, I don't like the keyword on this one, submission. I don't really see it as submission, that's for sure. I see it as more romance. But in Aries, she's a lot more aggressive. She knows what she wants and she's going to get it. She's definitely more of like the warrior woman in that sign. And they have the keyword of lust here. So she's over the romance part. She wants to get down and dirty. So Venus in Aries definitely makes us more more aggressive and assertive, in the romantic area. We want to go for what we want. We're not putting up with things. And definitely you may find that their feminine energy is a lot more feisty over the next few weeks after this. That same day, on the 21st, we do have Mars making a trine with Saturn. So Mars and Saturn are going to be working together. They're going to be, if Saturn's about organization and he's about rules and boundaries. And that's a day where we may see governments start to take action about enforcing certain rules, or maybe, and that could be anything to do with the pandemic, to the internet, to I'm not sure what, but maybe watch for that in the news, that there is more enforcement of boundaries and rules at this point. Also see that this is a great time for getting organized as well in your personal life, to say like, hey, what do I want to actually enact? Enough of the big dream. We got to start making action, and we have to make a plan of some kind and get organized. So watch for that this week, or not that week, but on Sunday, March 21st. And so the next Sunday, Sunday, March 28th, we have a full moon in the sign of Libra. Now, full moons, the sun and moon are always in opposite signs. So the sun is in Aries, which is all about the self and what we want. And the full moon, the moon, is in the sign of Libra, which is about partnership and balance and harmony. So we had, sun is saying, hey, I'm focused on myself. And then the moon says, well, you're going to have to work with others. You can't do this alone. How are you going to balance this out? How are you going to bring this into harmony with others? So it's like there's this whole energy towards the end of March, like in the last half of March, that says, okay, you've had your big dream. What are you going to do about it? How are you going to get organized? And how are you going to work with others to actually make this happen? Now, that particular full moon is opposite the sign of, or opposite Venus as well, and trining Saturn. So that actually emphasizes that same theme. So the sun and Venus are together saying, I want to bring something beautiful into the world. I want to assert myself in a way that I think is going to be beneficial. And then the moon says, how are you going to work with others to do that? And then we have that trine with Saturn saying, okay, get organized, and what rules are you going to create, and what boundaries are you going to create to actually enforce this? So that's what I'm seeing for this month. So it's interesting, the energy is shifting. We do have a lot of Pisces energy going on in the first half of March, and then we kind of switch into this Aries energy very much in the second half. So there's like this quickness, this feeling of moving forward this month, that, you know what, hey, we're coming out of a time of difficulty, and now we really want to get on with things and move forward. So the first half of the month, think about what your big dreams are and your big goals are. Don't be afraid to kind of shoot for the moon, because in the next half of the month, you're going to feel like, okay, got this dream. How am I going to actually act on it? How am I going to get organized? And what am I going to do to work with others to get this done? So I think it's a productive month ahead. Anyway, let me know what your thoughts are. I would love to hear it. If you want more astrology, I do have a free astrology newsletter, full and new moon. So twice a month I have newsletter, totally free. You can sign up for that. On my Patreon, I also do the weekly astrology if you want more details. And I do astrology readings on my Etsy shop as well if you're interested in that. So check it out. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. You guys are awesome. I hope you have a wonderful month. And as always, peace and love and rock.